Welcome to another special early look at WDWNT VR, the virtual resort, the next big project we're working on here at WDWNT.com. I'm Tom Corliss. I'll be doing this one alone. Everybody else was busy. So and Nick is bringing me something. What are you bringing me? Oh, okay. Oh, okay, great. Oh, coffee. Good. All right. Anyway, WDWNT VR is the next big thing we're working on. I want to get it out of the way, say it right at the beginning. We're aiming to open this thing next year. This is going to be 2018 because I've been asked a ton since the last preview. When is this thing going to happen? 2018 is what we're aiming for. And you're getting a very early look. I'm going to tell you right now, what you're about to see is extraordinarily unfinished. There are a lot of things missing or untextured. And I'll show you things that look more complete, obviously, but some stuff will look very close, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. It looked very unfinished, basically. So do keep that in mind. We're giving you a very early look at things. And also the graphics in this video won't look as good because we're streaming it through Google Hangouts. Obviously, when you come see this yourself, it will look a lot better. We don't have the best Wi-Fi setup here at the radio station for such things, but we're going to try this anyway. So to give you an idea on this, this is something kind of we used to fool around with as a team building exercise back in the day. Pretty much most nights when we'd work on some stuff, and then when we were done with work, a lot of us would sit around on Skype and talk and then get on this thing called Second Life, and we'd go build stuff and program stuff and kind of just fool around doing kind of theme park related things, whether it be like building ride recreations or buildings, famous building from the park and things like that. It was a nice team building project and thing we used to do. And obviously, people go on with their lives, and we all had girlfriends and wives and babies and things like that. We kind of stopped doing this for a while, but then everybody kind of wanted to start doing it again. And with VR becoming as prevalent as it is, and with Second Life about or in the process of rolling out a lot of VR capabilities, it seemed like a really cool thing we could do with WDWNT. So there was this idea to maybe try and do this in the public realm and see what people thought. The time just seemed right for this. I think this year we lost a lot of really great classic attractions, and we thought, well, it'd be great if people can go back and relive them in a way that's not just a ride video, maybe in somewhat more of a community or social interaction, interactive way they could do that and experience it with other people, and it could be more of a community kind of thing. Certainly there have been a lot of great VR projects done with theme park stuff. You think about, I know I've seen some Star Tours ones and other ones that are really beautiful, but they're very cold and sterile experiences. It's you by yourself, and there's no other people around. They're big empty buildings, and they're just, I don't know, just something about it always felt kind of sterile. And so the cool hook about this would be being able to have this community aspect and have a real living, breathing virtual theme park and resort that would have that WDWNT character, which is the reason you're probably even watching or listening to this right now, is because you know who we are and you like what we do. And that's kind of the approach we're going to bring to this. That character and that comedy and that passion for the parks will very much be there. So again, the idea was, these attractions are going away. What if there was a way to experience them virtually? But beyond that, what if there was some way to have a virtual theme park where people, when they're, they can't get to the parks, maybe they could still hop on with their friends or family and kind of have a virtual theme park experience. And obviously we love Disney. And so that's what we're going to kind of do, is sort of blend together a lot of things we love about the Disney parks and bring them together in this thing you could do online at home. And Jason's going to be moderating the chat. Those of you who are watching live, we'll be happy to take any questions or comments through the show. Jason, you may want to watch that YouTube chat as well. I know there's people out there.
I can only watch so many chats.
Thanks for the effort. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start getting ready to show you guys exactly what we're doing. So again, very unfinished what we're looking at. And again, the focus is not so much on those cutting edge graphics, which a lot of the other virtual reality things are kind of doing. Again, where they give you one single experience with very crisp, clear graphics and all that kind of stuff. We're aiming to give you an entire park. It'll still be beautiful. Don't get me wrong. We're obviously putting a lot of care into how it looks. But I will warn you, it's not going to be like you're playing a video game on, your PS4. It might be a little bit more like your PS3. But nonetheless, it's going to offer. No, it's not.
PS1.
Don't be ridiculous.
PS 2.5.
Thanks. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and screen share here now. Get this to work. And hope this doesn't crash everything. And we're going to give you guys your first look inside what we're working on. Just give me a moment here. Hit share. And Jason, tell me when you see that. You can put me up. Or actually, you're not. You have to put yourself. I got it. And here we go. So you're looking at me inside our little VR project here. I'm gonna play around with the camera.
Nice hat.
Thanks. That's actually a glow with the show hat.
Ooh.
We have the ability to do that, and I'll talk to you more about that when we look at like World of Color and stuff. So here we are outside of what'll be our first park, at least, because as we said before, in the press release, we wanted to do a lot of things related to Hollywood Studios and California Adventure and Epcot. And the first park is sort of a blending of what we miss or love about those two parks, California Adventure and Hollywood Studios. And then eventually there are plans to do an Epcot park, which we'd have Spaceship Earth, and we'd have a really great recreation of illuminations, reflections of Earth, and a whole lot of other cool things. But nonetheless, we're starting with sort of the studios parks. You see here, we're in the front of the park. It's a fairly accurate recreation of the entry area, even with the little side buildings and things that you see there, and the Eiffel Tower, which is very much a work in progress at the moment. And we can go ahead and walk in. And all of this, you see this pavement and stuff. None of this is permanent. We're still texturing things and finishing things up, but at least we wanted to clean it up a little bit this week, just so you guys can. It looked more presentable. We didn't want this floor to just be plain white or a wood grain texture. We want to look somewhat real this week. So yeah, the idea is again, really the things we love most about Hollywood Studios and California Adventure. A park that has that 30s Hollywood theme blended with that working movie studio theme, which, since you can't experience that in real life anymore, we thought it'd be fun to, offer you some things that maybe are gone from the parks and bring them back to life in a way. So we have our recreation of Hollywood Boulevard here, which is not, you'll see different buildings and things that are not in necessarily the way, the order or the way you see them in real life. That's by design, familiar yet different is what we're going for here. I'm going to switch the time of day so you get a better look at things. Move to sunset. There we go. You see, and again, I'm on fairly low graphics on this computer because of the Wi-Fi we're on. So this will look even better when you see it. And if you're on a good internet connection, you can really pump up these graphic capabilities, and it looks really, really great. And we've shared some photos on Twitter at those full resolution, and you can really see how beautiful these buildings and things look. This cupola on the top of the Carthay is extraordinarily detailed. It's a really beautiful building. A couple people worked real hard to make this building happen. So, yeah, it's our recreation of Hollywood and Sunset in that area. And you walk around, there'll be shops and things. We'll be selling virtual items if you really want to customize your avatar in any way you can. We'll have WDWNT t-shirts, the same ones you can get on TeePublic. If you want to own them virtually, you certainly can. And we'll have all sorts of different things. There'll be virtual pins and these glow with the show ear hats that'll interact with shows and things we do here at the park. Yeah, so these shops will be habited with that, and then also other vendors from Second Life who sell a lot of really cool things will be joining us as well. The Carthay Circle Theater will be home to Walt Disney One Man's Dream. Since you can't see that all year long at Hollywood Studios, it's a really wonderful film. So we'll have it in there, and we'll also have rotating displays inside the lobby there. I'm not sure I can really take you inside there yet, but I will walk you guys. You see, we have a recreation of the storyteller statue with Walt and Mickey. And we walk down here, and there's this weird little doorway back here. And there's and this is very unfinished, as you could see. This is when you build in Second Life, this is what everything starts at, with this wood grain texture. And then you texture it, and you make things pretty, and you make things look real. And this is a very temporary staircase. If I can fit up it, it may not even be made to be walked up yet. See, I can't even get up the stairs. But yeah, so there's this weird side doorway that maybe you'll need something special to access, and maybe you'll have to be a member of some sort of club to get in there. Maybe a society. Maybe that works through Patreon. Who knows? So yeah, we'll take a look at some more of Hollywood Boulevard. We got lots of buildings. We got Keystone and Taylor to the Stars and Real Vogue. A lot of the buildings you'll recognize: the Carthay Circle Theater, the Dark Room. Yeah, we got a lot of that. The Dark Room facade isn't done. It's down that street, though. And we're walking down the street. We all have the red car. The red car trolley will be running all over Hollywood. That's one of the rides we'll have. You can take a nice little scenic red car trolley ride around the park. And you can see this is very unfinished. As we walk further up the street, there's a lot more unfinished. But I'll show you that we do have a little trolley stop up here, too. There you go. And the trolley will go all around our little hub. And, of course, the main thing we've got here is the Grauman's Chinese Theater. Why don't I switch that to nighttime? You get a nighttime look since we have the lights. Connor left the lights on, thankfully. Go to midnight. But there's like exterior lighting and stuff isn't done yet. So obviously that'll be much brighter in the front. And we are going to have the Great Movie Ride. It's going to take a little while to get that done. But that is in the plans, to have the Great Movie Ride, to bring the Great Movie Ride back to life in digital form. It'll be part of the project. We'll also have this little area, which will be a tribute to Paradise Pier, which we're kind of losing pretty soon. And again, this area is very much a work in progress. You can see there's a floating palm tree. This is stuff you won't ever see stuff like this when you come to the park. We're still very early in development, so a lot of things are very, very rough and just floating out there, like that Boardwalk Pizza and Pasta building that's floating out in space back there. But we have a fountain system. The great thing about Second Life is all these wonderful things have been developed, and you can blend them together. And Connor has bought and developed all these different fountain and light and all these kinds of systems that we use to make a full digital version of World of Color. And it's really, really fantastic. We used to do it just sort of for fun, and we used to invite some people. There is a whole sort of Disney theme park community within Second Life. It's very active, and so we used to take part in that. We would invite them to come see this, and everybody was always very wowed with what we had done. It's really neat for a digital version of the show. It's really a lot of fun, and I'll show you guys a little bit of behind the scenes on that if I can for a second here. You won't be able to fly in the park. This is pretty much our editor mode we're in. So you're seeing things, and we're doing things that you wouldn't normally be able to do. These things here are a bunch of the control panels that are necessary to make World of Color happen. There are more of these that only appear to us when we're doing the show. They're going to only be on our screen, but these are all the physical panels and control panels and things that have to be here and functioning for this show. It is one of the most complicated things anyone's ever done in this game. So give you an idea of what we're doing here. And I'm going to go back to the ground here. There'll be fireworks shows, there'll be parades, there'll be character meetings, there'll be atmosphere entertainment, all the things you would expect on a day you visit a Disney theme park will be present in our digital recreation. It'll be a living, breathing thing that always has stuff going on. And we're going to go through some very unfinished areas, but nonetheless, we're going to show you some stuff. Jason, any questions or comments to talk about?
Will there be tours?
Will there be tours? I don't know that there'll be tours. I mean, that's sure that's something. If people expressed interest, we'd be happy. And this is completely free, by the way. We're not charging. There's no charged admission or anything like that. Obviously, if you buy little digital things for your avatar and stuff, like obviously we charge for those. But to come see this, you don't have to pay a cent. This is just sort of a fun side project, and there might be donation boxes and stuff. If you really love it, you could throw us a few bucks. But this is really just kind of a fun side thing we're doing, a team building thing for the staff, and just something really cool that maybe should be done. So a tour wouldn't be something we charge for, but if people really wanted to see like behind the scenes of how we do stuff, and maybe we can tie in like actually give you history on these things that no longer exist anymore. Because I've written up, Jason could tell you for WW Celebrations, I've done history walks of studios in all these parks. And so if we could sort of blend, like, here's what we're trying to recreate, and here's the backstory of the history of that thing within the parks. I mean, that's certainly something we could do. I know for our WIGS members on Patreon, they're going to get a couple of sort of preview events where they get to come in and we'll show them things before the general public, before this opens sometime next year. They'll get to look around and stuff. Any other questions or comments? Jason?
Nope, nothing.
Okay, cool. So we'll keep going here. Here we have the Streets of America, or will be the Streets of America at some point. This area doesn't serve a tremendous amount of purpose, but we really wanted to have it just to walk around it. Also, you may notice there's like a red tour tram back there. That tour tram will do something. It won't be a full backlot tour because I think it'd be kind of weird if we toured you around fake, digitally recreated movie props. I don't think that's terribly exciting. So what we did is it'll be an abbreviated version of the Backlot Studio Tour that literally just goes to Catastrophe Canyon. So you'll ride through Streets of America real quick. We'll take you into Catastrophe Canyon. You'll get to see that recreated, and you'll come back out, sort of a little abbreviated Backlot Tour. And then the eventual plan with Streets of America is we would like to, during the holiday season, do a digital version, VR version of the Osborne Family Spectacle of Dancing Lights to sort of give that back to people. Because I think it'd be really cool, even if you could just do it online, to just sort of take in Christmas music and see the lights dance and do it as in a community way where there will be other people here, like people from all over the world can visit this at any time of day, with anyone. And certainly you'll bring people, and the other idea we had is just like the chat here at WDWN Tunes. Many of you have met before, and you get to know each other through sitting through all these shows over the years. The idea here would be if you bump into people in the parks, you start a conversation. We sort of build a community over here too. It just could be a really fun thing, to go and hang out with some Disney fans on a night and, go on a virtual ride or two, taking a fireworks show and, just chat. And in Second Life, the great thing is that there is all these chat functionalities that you could just, if I typed in here, anyone in the surrounding area would get my message, anyone nearby, so you could have conversations with people. It's really neat software. Second Life, it can be a lot of fun. I think sometimes it gets a negative stigma for some of the weirder things that people do with it. But you could do some really fun, creative, cool things. And
hey, Tom,
that's what we're doing here.
Does it support voice chat?
It does. We'll have that turned off though within the park. Yeah, Second Life does normally support that, but otherwise you'll be able to chat with people. Just voice chat kind of bogs things down, especially when we're doing like the fireworks shows and stuff, because those are using a lot of bandwidth. So, just to simplify things, and it will be moderated. It's a completely safe environment. There'll be no cursing or anything like that. It's very family friendly.
Am I allowed in there?
Yeah, I guess so. So yeah, this is you see we already have an early version of the New York Street facades down here, and we'll run over here because we're running short on time. And down here maybe these won't just be big square buildings. We just kind of have them blocked out so we can figure out what we're doing. Maybe there's San Francisco. There it is. There you go.
Count some donations because we just got a big one.
Well, we're going to do those at 9. We're going to announce all of them
Right
at 9
at 9
o'clock.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to get through this real quick. Then we do have some other attractions. I don't want you guys to think we're going to open with nothing here. Star Tours. The original Star Tours will be completely recreated here. Again, this is very much early work in progress. This guy will be out here Just says he's the real attraction, and it'll be a way to relive the original Star Tours. And so, since I can't show you World of Color or the fireworks, we're gonna walk in here a little bit, which we didn't during the other preview. There's C-3PO and R2-D2. Again, very unfinished. Anything you see that's blank or the missing ceiling will obviously that won't be a thing forever. And it will tie in video media. Absolutely works in here. So this screen up here will show the original Star Tours pre-show video. That will absolutely be there. C-3PO and R2-D2 will talk to each other and things will happen in here.
Here's a couple of questions from the chat.
Yeah.
Will you handle the AP days better than the AP Pandora previews?
We won't even need AP days. No pass required. Yeah, go ahead. Keep going.
Will we get currency for sweeping up virtual trash like Universal Studios Theme Park Adventure?
Wow, that's a callback. Holy cow, that game was something. No, we don't have any virtual trash.
What about Endor vendors?
There's no shop at the exit of Star Tours here. But here, you can see some of the more finished stuff. There's a control panel for Star Tours. We got some graphics on the wall here. The pre-show, the original pre-show video above the boarding area will play here. And one fun thing is we made a smaller Star Speeder because obviously we won't have the crowds that a real park has. So we made a 2-row Star Speeder instead. So what we did was these doors will work. So you'll watch the pre-show. When the pre-show's over, those 2 other doors will pop open. What I did for the first door, since it won't actually open, was we put some out of service tape over it, including some Arabesh writing that also says out of service. We have fun with this. So, the same show quality standards that apply to a Disney theme park, we're going to follow. So you won't see things you won't supposed to or anything like that. Let's go ahead and get in the Star Speeder.
Here's a question from the YouTube chat. Do we need Second Life to get to it?
Yeah, you do.
So you will need to.
It's an easy free download.
It's a free download, but you will need to set that up to get to it.
I'll show you guys the inside. The inside, we did a really great job on the inside. I love the inside of this cockpit so much. We're gonna look at this. It looks a lot like the real thing, which is great. Look at this. I'm gonna try not to go through the back wall. You see, we even the little side screen. You got above you the little warning.
That's amazing.
Yeah, little warning. So it looks like you're in the Star Speeder. So this side screen will work all in sync, all synchronized. Captain Rex, the big screen, and the side screen will all work. This will be, you'll sit in these seats right here that are next to me, and you'll experience Star Tours, the original Star Tours as it once was. Everything works. It's a full recreation of the attraction, and you come out this exit, which again is going to be very unfinished. But we do have some things are in place, like this thing.
Is it? I don't know if I'm asking a question that's too far behind the scenes, but is it like if I'm on the attraction, is it a recreation or am I going to be watching like a ride through video?
No. So on the screen in that ride will appear what appeared on the screen in the attraction. Captain Rex will physically be there. We will have audio animatronics, animated figures we've built will do things. So some attractions are screen-based. Well, Walt Disney One Man Stream obviously is a screen. Star Tours is screen-based, but you're still getting in that cockpit and things are happening. Like Captain Rex will move and obviously the screens will do what they did. You're not just watching an on-ride video. The idea is to feel like you're on the ride. That's what we're trying to do.
Here's a question that a couple people have been asking in the chat is, do the seats have those little pockets underneath to put your backpack?
Sure. We'll make it happen. I'm going to walk back through the arch here. You see we have the backlot arch thing. And we'll walk around more of Hollywood Boulevard. We have a couple minutes here. And you see it's sort of, again, a combination of California Adventure and Hollywood Studios. You have Mortimer's Market and Elias and Company living next door to Keystone Clothiers and other shops from studios, just making this little Hollywood town. But then maybe you'll find some facades that don't exist in the parks, but are nods to things within Disney lore, like Maroon Cartoons. Maybe that studio is here. Little fun things like that. And we're going to walk down here and take a quick look at some other rides that'll be, and I'll talk about what'll be here opening day. This is very early on, what I'm going to show you down here. Rock and Roller Coaster. There's the arch. And again, very early on in development. Rock and Roller Coaster will be right there. And then the big boy, which we've done before and has had rave reviews from people here on Second Life, is the Indiana Jones Adventure, which is a full recreation of that attraction. Obviously, being in Hollywood, we're not doing the whole temple entrance. But the idea is you'll walk through a movie screen. Funny how that works. May see that in real life. So you walk into a movie theater and you may find some stuff that you recognize from Hollywood studios inside. And we walk through here, and again, very unfinished. There'll be a magic effect where you walk through the movie screen here. There'll be some queue space in here. Very much not done. Go to the load area here. And I'll give you guys a quick walk and some of the ride. We can look at a little bit here. And maybe you go through one of these 3 doors. Actually, we should be set to midnight because in order to best experience this attraction, you're going to have to set your view at a midnight like this, so everything will look like it's supposed to look in the attraction. And,
wait, so you're going to ride through or walk through?
Oh, you're going to ride through. I'm walking you through because we're not done programming yet. So these triangles you see on the floor are part of the programming system. Connor is in the middle of programming the ride. So we can't ride it just yet because it's not completely functioning yet. We have a lot of effects and things. We're going to build a full 3D sculpted Mara is coming. There's going to be see this little box here. The same way the ride randomizes what'll happen. You know, you have the Fountain of Youth and all the different possibilities. Our version of the ride will have all those possibilities. You never know what's going to happen each time you ride. And so we're not going to look at Mara because she's not done yet. We don't want to spoil that surprise, right? Turn through here, maybe something will happen over there. And if we walk up here, we can see a very early version of Indy. He's holding back those doors to keep us safe. Actually, we should turn up the brightness a little here. It is a little hard to see it right now. Again, the Second Life is complicated. So in here, we have to like figure out lighting. So see how it's really dark in there right now. And obviously you want some of that darkness. And you see the mist on the floor and stuff. But we will have to set some lighting on him to make him, visible and make the doors more visible.
You could make it easy and just do the dinosaur attraction. Then you can leave it completely dark through the whole thing.
But see, if we turn on the lights, the scene still looks pretty good. And there's Indy with the door. He will be fully animated. He's off right now. And he'll be pushing that door back into place to keep us safe. And we're going to go back to midnight real quick. And we'll start taking some of your last questions here because we are approaching 9 o'clock very rapidly. And I'm gonna run us into the big scene here, which would be this scene. Oh, we don't have the lighting on in here yet, so I'm gonna.
Will the attractions offer any type of interactivity?
The attractions are just as they are in real life. So if you can't interact with them in real life, there's no interactive feature. We're turning the light on in here. You're seeing stuff you're really not supposed to see, but I want to give you guys an idea of how big this scene is. We have the whole scene with the lava and everything going on here. It's really fantastic. That'll be fully sculpted. That head will be fully sculpted eventually. We just have a place. We have that in place. And I will, since someone brought up interactivity, I'm going to run back to the load area and show you guys something that actually is interactive.
Will there be automatic day-night changes?
That does happen within the game on its own. But you also have the power to control what you're seeing. You can change the daytime yourself. The fun thing is the attractions will have like the same way there are warning signs outside. Actually, I think I can show you one. It's here. Yeah, here it is. So here's something fun. You actually set me up perfectly for this. Our signs this isn't a recreation of the real sign because the real sign has all sorts of warnings that don't apply in our virtual world. So attraction should only be viewed at midnight. It tells you in order to experience the attraction as it's meant to be, you're going to set your viewer to midnight. Guests should sit and wait for all guests to be seated before starting the Jeep to begin the ride. Please remain seated for the entire ride. Attraction is best experienced in mouse look, which is when you zoom in. That gives you a first-person point of view. So if you zoom in, you'll see as if you're looking through the head of your avatar, which gives you that true-to-life experience, and then some other little things. And so here in the exit, we have this thing. And This is a good thing to end on. Danger, do not touch. Why do I not want to touch this bamboo pole? That's why you don't want to touch the bamboo. Because you'll get impaled. So there are interactive elements. There's fun things like that. We've done interactive quests and things before, kind of like Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom or Agent P along those lines. But so we'll do some original stuff too. Obviously, we have a lot of rides and things that are based on real life, but we'll have some fun with and do some things that, only we can do. And remember, kids, real rewards await those who choose wisely. And we're going to run back out to the main street here. If you want a longer look at WDWNT VR, we have a video that went up yesterday where we gave our first look. This is our second first look, I guess you could say. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and zoom us. I'm going to set it to midnight. And I'm going to take us, put us in a nice view of the street here. Any final questions or anything?
Nope.
So again, we're going to look to open this sometime next year. And yeah, we're really excited about it. I think it's a fun thing. When we open, we plan to open with the Indiana Jones Adventure, Star Tours, Walt Disney One Man's Dream. We'll have the Red Car Trolley, World of Color, Mickey's Fun Wheel, Silly Symphony Swings, and there'll be lots of other things to do. There'll be shops and fireworks and all sorts of fun stuff. So
Jed was asking if there'll be periodic updates to WIGS members. Like maybe we could do another little walkthrough in a couple of months.
Yeah, and I said that earlier, actually. WIGS members probably starting in January will have like a monthly walkthrough or early preview. As we finish rides and things, we will probably invite WIGS members to WIGS member previews. Where they get to come on and ride. But probably in January, we'll do like an introductory course where we show you guys how Second Life works and how you can best experience the park. And we'll walk you guys around. And then as attractions and things are done, we'll invite you guys for some previews. And you can, of course, join the WIGS, the WDWNT Interglobe Society at patreon.com/WDWNT. And you can join at as low as $2. And those tours will be for anyone at any price level. So beginning at $2, you get an early look and early access. In fact, we get to come see the park.
Patrick wants to know if we're going to have a virtual WDWNT Hall of Fame.
No, that won't be a thing.
Maybe we can have the busts out front, like the.
Or maybe we'll have handprints in front of the Chinese theater.
Oh, there you go.
Maybe that's already been worked on. The idea is a living, breathing online Disney theme park. I think so many people say they miss Virtual Magic Kingdom, and I think that was a very different thing, but I think this embodies a lot of that, embodies a lot of the VR things people have done, and then just what we've done in our off time and really had fun doing as a team building thing back in the day here at WDWNT.com, and we're bringing that all together. That people seem to really like this stuff now, and the world seems a little more open-minded about virtual experiences, and that's why we think it's a fun time to try this, and it's something cool we can bring you guys.
What time will the 3:00 parade be?
There'll be parades.
There will. Okay.
There'll be parades.
And will Tom Corliss be a walk-around character?
Sure. I'll be here as my avatar's name is Bill McKim. So you'll see Bill McKim in the park all the time.
Will there be a Robo Chapek meet and greet?
No. Are there any other serious questions? We'll
No.
take any more serious questions. No.
No.
All right. Well, that's our first look. Jason, you can we'll put that image back up to end this. WDWNT VR is coming your way in 2018. Early access and previews will be coming to WIGS members very, very soon. And we are really excited to give this a try. It's something crazy and different and new. And that's kind of what we always try to do at WDWNT, whether it's, an FM radio show or a fake late night talk show or a parade no one can see. We always try to do something kind of crazy and different. And I think VR is the next one of those kind of projects for us.